Good morning and welcome to Motivational Mornings, the podcast that gets you going before you get going. Good morning and welcome to Motivational Mornings. My name is Vivi, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Ryan. Today we're going to be talking about the book What It Takes by Stephen A. Schwarzman. Now, Stephen A. Schwarzman grew up on the east coast of the United States, and he grew up with relatively humble means. His dad and his grandpa were both entrepreneurs, but one owned a linen shop and another small business. And he kind of always was a hard worker, was really good at track in high school, got a scholarship to Yale, and then started his pursuit of wanting to become a better and better human being by going to Yale. During his time at Yale, he always had intricate ideas of how he can make himself useful, how he can be creative, how he can stir up some buzz on campus and just provide some interesting things that maybe weren't there prior to him being there. And he got a name and reputation for that. And I'm going to get right into one of the first points that I found. The most important point I think that I found from this book was that when Stephen A. Schwarzman was visiting Harvard's business school, and one of the Harvard Business School professors was talking about how to become an entrepreneur. And he was saying, start off here, you gain customers here, then you hire, and then you start firing when you need to, and everything is smooth and happy and dandy, and then you go on your billion-dollar company. And Stephen A. Schwartz was shocked by this. Stephen was really, really shocked. And so he came up and was talking, and he looked at the professor, and he said, he has a reality check for entrepreneurs in business school. In his opinion, if you want to start a business, you need to pass 3 basic tests. First test is that your idea has to be big enough to justify devoting your life to it. Make sure that your idea, whatever it may be, has the potential to be huge and not just striving to be mediocre. If you're going to devote your life to something, make sure that it's something that has the potential to make a really big change. The second test that Stephen talks about is that it should be unique. By this he means when people hear of it, they should think to themselves, wow, I need this. For example, if you're targeting a specific avatar, a specific customer demographic, that person should say immediately after you've told them about your new idea, I have been waiting for this. This really appeals to me, and I really, really need this. Without that aha moment from your target customer, you are wasting your time, Stephen says. And thirdly, your timing must be right. The market you are targeting should already be lifting off on its own, so that when you input your new idea into it, it'll be lifted up altogether. For example, if you're trying to start up Facebook, and you're doing it in the 1980s when people were barely getting accustomed to using a computer, it's probably not going to work regardless of how ingenious, how big the idea has the capacity to be, and how unique it may be. But if you do pass these 3 tests, now you have prepared yourself to endure the pain that it takes to be an entrepreneur. But the pain that it takes to be an entrepreneur is the reality of starting something new. And Stephen thought these Harvard Business Schools students should hear the reality of that, the reality of starting something new and being an actual entrepreneur in the real world.
One point I want to talk about is the idea that information is the most important asset in a business. The more you know, the more perspective you're going to have. Now, this seems to be a common theme between every successful person we've come across in these podcast episodes. They all talk about continually learning and gathering new information. And I think we can also take this as a reminder to always be open. Be open to new ideas and new information. For example, if there's someone you don't agree with, you can take it as an opportunity to gather new information. Either you'll find that maybe there are things you never considered before, and it might change your opinion. Or you might confirm your views by seeing the other person's opinion and what the things that you don't agree with. Now, information is so important. And now I've seen a lot of people make bad choices because they didn't have all the facts, because they didn't have all the information, the the most important asset in a business, according to Steven. But I don't think I've seen people make bad choices because they had too much information. And I think that's why so many successful people say continuous learning and continually gathering new information is what helped them make them successful. Another point in the book I want to discuss is the idea that, so the book goes on saying, when presenting yourself, remember that impressions matter. The whole picture has to be right. Others will be watching for all sorts of clues and cues that tell who you are. Be on time, be authentic, be prepared. I think this is important because these are all things that people notice, but they're also all things that are fully in your control. You can be prepared for that meeting. You can be on time when you're meeting someone for lunch. And those things make a difference. So I think this is a great reminder to make the effort to be on time, to leave your house 10 minutes earlier next time you're going to meet someone. Or next time you're going to meet a client, maybe spend that extra 10 minutes to prepare. I think a lot of times, all these little things, they seem small, but they all add up to make the biggest difference.
Another point that I found interesting was when Stephen was talking to a Harvard professor regarding the input that she may have in this book. And he asked her, in her opinion, are the best executives born or made? And she said, none of the executives that are the Fortune 500 companies that I've taught have ever been born. They're always made. They adapt to challenges, fix them along the way, and continue persevering. Which leads me to a next point about being a salesman and how that's a pivotal part of being an entrepreneur. It's another interesting point because our last book also talks about this point and how the best entrepreneurs are the best salesmen initially, because you have to get that grunt work going to start your business. You have to be the one grinding. He also makes the point about salesmen regarding the fact that once you pitch something once, you cannot hold people accountable to them understanding you right off the bat. Your first pitch is likely just going to be a rough draft of what you think is a good idea and what you think can happen. But you've got to sell that vision over and over and over and over again. Most people don't like to change. So you have to overwhelm them with the value that you're going to provide and through a charm that they can't resist not utilizing your services to provide that value.
One point Stephen talks about in the book is he says that success comes down to rare moments of opportunity. Be open, alert, and ready to seize them. Gather the right people and resources, then commit. If you're not prepared to apply that kind of effort, either the opportunity isn't as compelling as you think, or you're not the right person to pursue it. Now, what I take from this is you'll never know what opportunities are going to come up, so you need to always be on the lookout and be ready to take advantage of them as they do come up. So I have 2 points here. One, I think you have to be open to new opportunities. There's going to be opportunities out there, but they're not always going to be obvious. So I think it's up to us, if we really want to take advantage of them, to always be looking and maybe be a little more creative when we're looking for these opportunities. And now 2, I think you can always work on getting ready to take advantage of new opportunities as they come your way. And so I think this all comes back to our earlier point about learning. The more you're able to learn, or the more skills you're able to refine, the more opportunities you'll be able to take advantage of. And the more you'll be able to make out of each opportunity, the more prepared you are. So make sure to keep learning and improving skills, whether that's taking a new course, improving, maybe your social skills, asking to meet new people to learn directly from them, finding new mentors. There's so much you can do. And there's so much that will allow you to take advantage of numerous opportunities, even if we don't know what they are today. So now, especially since you never know when a new and potentially life-changing opportunity arises, you want to make sure to do what you can now to be ready beforehand. And then if you do that, once you find the right opportunity for you, then you'll be ready to commit and truly take advantage of it. That wraps up today's episode of Motivational Mornings. If you like this book, you can go to Audible and get a free 30-day trial for any audiobook of your choice, including What It Takes. If you go to audible.com/motivational morning. Thanks for listening and have a great day.